W.E.B. Du Bois Rebel with a Cause film and documentary premiered tonight here in Santa Monica, California. I'm Michael Reel. This is Real Urban News. The film's director, Rita Coburn, spoke with us at length. Also, Courtney B. Vance, one of the narrators of this powerful film, along with one of the executive producers, Sandra Evers-Manley. This film is a part of the American Masters series on PBS.
Rebel with the cause. American Masters. Rebel with the cause.
We're ebbing just a little bit closer to the premiere of the Du Bois film, part of the American Masters series. How important is this film?
This film has come at this right time in our history. I think Du Bois just continues to speak to us. You can't call it a comeback. He's been with us since his work hit us in 1903 with The Souls of Black Folks. And right now, he's still out here saying we need the 14th, the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th Amendment to be solid in this country. So his fight for voting rights, we're right there. I'm sorry we're still there, but Du Bois is still speaking. So this film came at the right time for all of us.
As a storyteller, how pained or how stressed are you that America, the fabric, is literally falling apart?
Well, I think about Memphis, and I think about Birth of a Nation having been in the White House. And when I looked at some of the video from that, it looked as if we were being made fun of. This is such a serious time in this country. And so I feel Du Bois speaking to this time right now. I'm not stressed because I'm confident that we're a different people. On the backs of our ancestors, we have the agency to come out and take hold of our history and change this present time. And so I'd like this to be more of a movement. It's not just W.E.B. Du Bois, Rebel with a Cause, but this is our cause now. We need a movement to do right in this country.
And you've alluded to it, this film lands in history at the proper time, the perfect timing.
I think so. I think that Du Bois, he was a polymath and a Renaissance man before people said that. But what he more so did than anything was to make sure that he would fight for the rights of our people. And that's what we're still doing. When he said, the problem of the 20th century is the color line, unfortunately, it's the problem of the 21st century, and we're seeing that. And I think when he handed off, dying on the eve of the March on Washington, he really passed the baton on to Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King ran his leg of the race, and we have to run ours.
I very early got the idea
that I was going to prove to the world that Negroes
were just like other people.
W.E.B. Du Bois is arguably the greatest Black intellectual scholar activist in American history.
When did you realize this story needed to be told?
Well, when Maya Angelou noticed, and I was working for her through Oprah Radio, and she noticed that I didn't know enough about Du Bois, I started to read more about him. And when I saw that this program, this documentary, was on a website for American Masters without a director, I felt I'm going to tell that story. I'm going to do a couple of things when I tell that story. One, I'm going to honor that she wanted me to learn more about my history, and I'm going to teach other people about him, because if I didn't know, there's no shame in the game if you don't know. but the shame is not trying, not looking for it. And we really have to uphold our history. We can't let people take it away if we uphold it. And so I think that drew me to the program.
This premiere here in Santa Monica has prepared to close. One of your leading characters is here, leading actor, Mr. Vance.
Yes. Courtney B. Vance is here, and Courtney B. Vance is fabulous. First off, he called David Levering Lewis the Pulitzer Prize-winning author for both of his volumes on Du Bois, which took this almost 90-year-old man 15 years of his life. If he had not done that, I would not have the research. But Courtney B. Vance called him up and said, I'd like to read your works for Audible. So he knew the work. So the idea that he would become part of this film is a true blessing, because he was coming for it before I got there. And so it's all come together at the right time. This is the film for us to embrace and take it into our movement, because art is dangerous and art needs to be dangerous. The artists have to say, through paintings, through rap, through not just oil and water paintings, but also through the comedians. The artists have to speak up in a time like this. It takes all of us.
The director, your colleague, Rita Coburn,
Yes.
talks about this particular time in history being a time for W.E.B. Du Bois. Does that resonate with you?
It does, because what he was dealing with back in 1903, 1918, 1933, I mean, all the stages, he started to realize that, the various stages of thinking that education was going to do it, thinking that sociology was going to do it. And at every stage, he recognized that the white hold on life is a death grip. And, there's enough to go around, there's enough to share. And what will it take for us to realize that we've got to share? But in boxing terms, I guess it's going to come down to, like, in boxing terms, you can't outpoint the champion. You got to knock him out. And if that's what it's going to take for us to get ours, then we're going to have to do that. I mean, that's what Du Bois recognized, which is why he had to go to Ghana. And thank God for Shirley Graham. If it wasn't for her, he would have been in jail.
Sure.
She married him and allowed him to be able to continue to fight for his freedom. So, I mean, it's a very inspirational tale, and I'm so glad that life, not a tale of life. He was a giant of a man, and imperfect as we all are, but a giant of a man that needs to be lifted up and needs to be learned from.
Finally, as we prepare to close, you all touched on it in the panel discussion, talking about less social media interaction. But how do we get this story, this powerful story, to resonate with a younger, hipper, faster audience?
We do what we're doing now, which is, the issue today is that there's so many things to be distracted by. And there's, every now and then it's a spark.
Okay.
And we don't know what the spark will be. Maybe the spark of his life will spark some young person to go, wow, he was talking about that back in from when he went to college at Fisk, all the way to when he passed away in Ghana. So that's a life. That's an important life. We can learn from that. And so I'm excited by that. And I think, I know our children are, and you don't know what it is going to make them go in and go all in. So I'm excited.
As someone from West Africa, you are innately familiar with Du Bois and his history with the continent of Africa. What do you walk away with after watching this powerful documentary, Rebel with a Cause?
Right. So thank you so much. I'm really humble, first of all, to be here and to be asked that question. What I walk away with is the spirit with which he navigated this world, and his message, his underlying message, I think, is for us to really matter and for us to do things that outlive our short life on this earth. And that's what I walk away with. And the fact that he believed in the dignity of humanity. And that's what he stood for globally, not just for Black people. And that resonated really well with me.
W.E.B. Du Bois explored double consciousness as it relates to being both Black and an American. And I think we all navigate a story within ourselves. It might not be the same story, but we all navigate stories within ourselves that are going to either inhibit us or propel us to the next level. And if W.E.B. Du Bois didn't navigate his own stories and overcome his own stories, we wouldn't be here today.
What do you hope to walk away with after seeing this documentary, which is a part of the PBS American Master Series?
Sure, I hope to expand my perspective on the way I see life in general. You know, I think we can all take something from somebody, we can all give something to somebody, and that's what I want to take away is a new perspective that I can share with other people.
How important is it to you as an executive producer that this film, this documentary by Rita Coburn really resonate, not only with the PBS audience and the Master Series, but with America?
Well, I mean, I wanted to really resonate with the world. You know, W.E. Du Bois did not limit his life just to this country. He went to many places around the world. You know, he died in Africa, died in Ghana in particular. But we want people to understand the depth of this man, just how deep his life was and what he resonated through his voice, through his work. We want young people in particular to understand that a man named W.E. Du Bois walked this earth and the significance of his life, and their life can be just as significant. He was a man of excellence. He was a man of story. He was a man of art. He was a man of history and culture. So we want everyone to understand the genius that we know as W.E.B. Du Bois.
When you speak about art, talk about working with this film maker, this Peabody Award winning director, Rita Coburn. What was that like for you?
You know, we're dealing with a woman. We're dealing with an individual of purpose who understood the assignment that this film will teach young people for many, many years to come. This film is one of few films on his life. And so this is an opportunity to break through and get young minds to really see someone that they often don't see or learn about in their history books. So she's given us a gift. And that is what I'm so proud about, is that she's taken her talents, her art, her research. She's worked with scholars. She's worked with a great narrator and readers to give us a great story about a great man who is Black, who was very, very deliberate in his work and in his purpose.
How do you, as an executive producer, one of the executive producers of this film, how do you all battle, if you will, the celebrity culture? Mm-hmm. How do you challenge that culture in telling this powerful story?
Well, for me, you know, I grew up in a civil rights home. My celebrities are the men and women who did the basketball leagues, the little leagues, who took us to church, who ran the drill teams, those who fought and marched. I see celebrity very different. So for me, this was an easy film. We were always taught that we've got to give honor to those who are making a difference and fighting the good fight for our people, for our culture. So for me, that's why we've got to work on getting these stories done. We've got to do stories of purpose. You know, we've got a program called Films with a Purpose. It's not enough to just entertain. We've got to be about purpose. We've got to be about making a difference, bringing about change, inspiring, educating, telling our history. And so for me, those individuals who do that work, those are my celebrities.
Finally, this film premieres on PBS May 19th, a part of the Master Series.
Yes.
Talk about that and how it makes you feel.
You know, what makes me feel about this so great is that Rita Coburn, our director, she has done some incredible work. She did the Maya Angelou documentary, Still I Rise. She did the Marian Anderson documentary. She's got the whole world in her hand. And now she's done W.E.B, Du Bois, A Rebel with a Cause. She is elevating great Black individuals whose lives have made a difference in all that they do and continue to make a difference even though they are no longer with us. So what makes me proud is that American Masters recognizes her work, the magnitude of her work of being a great storyteller, being a great director. So I am proud to just know Rita. I'm proud of what she's done. I feel that W.E.B. Du Bois, Rebel with a Cause, will live on for so many generations to come, and it will bring about great change. I really believe that. When you hear the question of the young man had earlier tonight, that's what we want. We want this film to challenge, we want this film to inspire, we want this film to educate, and we want this film to elevate. And so now it's up to us as a community to help make that happen. We need to talk about it. We need to encourage schools to show the film. And if they don't, we need our churches, we need our community-based organizations to all be a part of helping to tell this story and get this film out.
Thank you for helping to elevate this powerful documentary.
Thank you. You know what? It's my responsibility. We've got to tell our stories. Too many people are trying to ban us, ban our history, ban our books, and ban our culture. So we've got to be about the business of making sure that that does not happen.